I'm Mrs. Lloyd Roberts. Before I got married, I was an actress. My stage name was Karen Anders. I wasn't very successful. I had talent, but talent is not all you need to become a star. You have to have other qualities. Tonight I'm going to tell you a story about a girl who does have those qualities. Her name is Eve Harrington.
Hop out to the stage door and tell the fan who's hanging around in the red coat that she can come in for exactly 2 seconds.
Oh, what? Miss Crane, you never have people over.
Robbie, stop thinking. Mrs. Roberts has at last prevailed upon me to entertain a member of my adoring public.
Very well, Miss Crane. I'll send her in.
Eve, how would you like to work for me?
What do you mean, Miss Crane?
Well, as a sort of private secretary. One part business, one part social.
Now, wait a minute, Pussycat.
Oh,
We
you
can't.
shut up. You know that I need a secretary. You're the one who's always saying that I never answer my letters or take care of my checkbook properly or return scripts. I'm always missing appointments. Eve could make herself useful to me in all sorts of ways.
I write a very good letter, Miss Crane. I have a fabulous memory, and I won a prize in spelling.
Okay.
Of course, your hours would be more erratic, but at least you wouldn't have to pay to go to the theater. You could watch me from the wings whenever you wanted to.
That would be heaven.
Then it's settled. Write down our address for her.
I had forgotten all about Eve. So imagine my shock when I dropped by the dressing room during a matinee to see Margot, and Eve opened the dressing room door.
Oh, Mrs. Roberts.
Eve, I hardly recognized you. Hello.
How wonderful to see you again. What a lovely Florida tan you have.
How do you know I've been in Florida?
Well, I've seen the postcards that you've sent Miss Crane.
Ah.
I answer all her mail now.
Of course. How are things going?
Better than ever. Mrs. Roberts, I've never been so happy. Miss Crane has been an absolute angel to me.
Aw.
I remember what life was like BC before Crane. I can't think how I managed to exist. Now every moment is so stimulating. I get to meet all sorts of celebrities. I talk to famous people on the phone, and I reply to all of their letters. But best of all, I get to come to the theater for every performance now. Could you do something for me?
What do you need, Eve?
I don't know quite how to put it. I'm afraid what you think I have in mind is wrong.
Oh, you want to leave Margot, is that it?
Anything but. I want to understudy her.
What? Eve, you're not an actress.
Not a professional one, no, but I have done a bit of amateur acting in high school. I did tell you that night when I was at your house that I'd done some acting and I wanted to go to Wisconsin. Don't you remember?
Yes, I remember you said something of the sort, but I certainly don't remember that you said you had any professional ambition to be on stage.
Well, I didn't. Not that night. But now that I've been in the atmosphere of a live theater, I've got the fever again. Miss Crane is too big a star to ever be replaced, and I would just work at rehearsals. Not that I'm not good casting for the part as far as age goes. I mean, Elizabeth is only supposed to be 25. But if I did have the opportunity, maybe you could come into a rehearsal someday. I promise. If you think I have no talent, I'll take your word for it and forget all of my dreams. At best, it's a chance to see what I can do.
I don't see any harm in it, Eve. I can't promise anything, but I'll speak with Margot.
Thank you, Miss Roberts. Mr. Roberts, please don't lead me forward, but I've been dying to ask you, is there anything that I could do in the play?
If there were, I'd give it to you in a minute. But I was careful not to write a good ingenue part this time.
I'm afraid I'll never get a break.
Oh, no, don't worry. Something will come along someday. Have patience. They're not real enthusiastic this afternoon. They must be sitting on their hands.
Well, the house was only half full.
Yeah.
I think most people go away on the weekends in the summer. Mr. Roberts, could you recommend me to a few agents? I met Mr. Hinkle, Miss Crane's agent, but he said he couldn't do anything before me because he's never seen me act.
Now, most of the bloodsuckers would say that they don't recognize talent until it's dumped in their laps.
I got a cocktail date at 21 with Bert Hinkle.
What do you mean you've got a date, Margot? I thought we were going to sit here and discuss my play.
And you've got another thought coming. I can say what I want to say in 2 sentences. I think the part stinks. I wouldn't play it if I were down to my last calorie.
You're kidding.
I've never been more serious. How dare you write me a character who's a 25-year-old icicle?
Cora is 26.
It's a childish quibble.
I think I better tell you the facts of life, Angel.
Bert Hinkle is bringing Isaac Katz of International Pictures to meet me for cocktails. He's angling for me, and I'm nibbling. They want me for a terrific role. A 33-year-old, sexy divorcee at a fabulous salary. I repeat, sexy. Hollywood is showing some sense for a change.
Oh, so that's at the back of it. Plain, unadulterated greed. Hollywood money is turned against playing in my play. It's not the part.
Wrong again. They finish with everyone quickly these days. It's only a 3-week job in September. When I get back, I'll be perfectly free to do a Broadway play, but it won't be yours. Good night, Mr. Ibsen. I regret that I'm too old to play in your doll's house.
She didn't like the script?
Oh, like it? Oh, she loathes it. Well, playing it, that's all.
Well, what about Clement?
He does like it. Will give me a production without Margot.
Eve, it's Mrs. Roberts.
Hello, Mrs. Roberts. What can I do for you?
Are you alone?
Yes, Miss Crane's on stage. There's no one here.
Well, I wanted to talk to you. Eve, how would you like to play Margot's part on Monday night?
What do you mean, Mrs. Roberts?
You know about the argument?
I certainly do. I had a ringside seat.
Well, although apparently they've made it up, Margot wounded Lloyd pretty deeply, and I think our star needs to be taught a lesson. She's not as untouchable as she thinks she is.
I completely agree, Mrs. Roberts. She was impossible. But how could such a thing be arranged?
I don't know. I haven't worked out all the details yet, but Eve, I think you would be very good. You would do so much more than keep the curtain up, and I don't know. You know she's coming to the country with us this weekend, right? I mean, I'll siphon the gas out of the car or something like that if I have to.
Oh, Mrs. Roberts, what a wonderful revenge. Can I tell a few people that I'm going to be playing the part? A few agents. I mean, I think if they saw me, it might help a lot.
Oh, sure. I guess that's fine. Just be very discreet. You mustn't let on that it's a put-up job. Even Lloyd doesn't know anything.
Of course, Mrs. Roberts. I'll keep your secret for the rest of my life.
Eve, what about Harvey? Did Harvey let you go on? Would she close the show?
Don't worry about Harvey. She'll put me on all right.
All right then, Eve. It's settled. It's a deal. This is your big chance. Let's make the most of it.